Wisdom training, where we're doing a beautiful interview with Diana Sampson, the lovely creator of Luna Rthyms Yoga. So hopefully you all know me in the group. So I just want to welcome Diana to this conversation. It's going to be a bit of an experiential conversation. We're going to be doing a little bit of guided things with you throughout the conversation. It's going to be about 20 minutes as normal, but I'm really super excited to be having this conversation because we're going to be looking at how we can use the moon to bring about vitality and harmony into our business, but also into our life, because as we know, everything is connected and we can't leave one without the other. So hello, Diana.
Hello, Natasha.
Hey.
And hello, everybody. Lovely to be here. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about you and Luna Rthyms Yoga.
Well, Luna Rthyms Yoga came from a period in my life where I'd had a physical and mental breakdown. I had the breakdown of my marriage and 2 small boys to care for. And I felt really lost, disempowered, in a lot of pain and disconnected, really. And this, of course, like every great big catastrophe in our lives, can be the breakthrough to something amazing. And it took me to my first yoga class. And of course, this took me to my life path, like my soul's calling. So after training to be a yoga teacher, I was really praying. I was praying for divine guidance. Like, who am I? Who am I as a yoga teacher? Because you come from your training and you're just copying your teacher and you don't know who you are, and you feel sort of uncomfortable in some way. So I was calling out, and one of my students came to me and said, I'd love a private on the moon because you're always talking about it. I'd love to know more. And this pinged an idea in my mind. It's like, oh yes, I was so happy. I was so grateful to this man because he basically opened that channel, that doorway for Luna Rthyms Yoga to be born. Wow. And so I founded it in 2007. And I started to work in harmony with the cycles of the moon and the seasons. And I created a yoga practice that brought in these sort of traditions of yoga, but with also this reverence to nature, to the seasons, to the moon, and really celebrating and being in tune with them. And on a personal level, I became connected, empowered. I felt prosperous, I felt abundant, I felt vital, and things began to slowly, because it is slowly but surely, started to change.
Yeah. And this connection to nature and the wider environment and the moon and everything is connected. And, I'm always talking about how, for me, it's so important to start my day connected with nature, out in the park, being out in the fresh air, surrounded by trees, listening to the birds, connecting stuff before I even think about sitting down and working or seeing clients, because I feel so much more grounded, connected within myself, and able to serve my clients from this place. So, and I've always kind of known a little bit about the moons and the cycles, but that's not something that I practice more on a day-to-day basis. For me, it's about connecting to nature. So tell us how you became so connected with the moon and you started to really use the moon in your life and then into your business.
Okay, so I started to use, first of all, the phases of the moon. Nice. So for example, we've got a new moon coming up on Sunday. So at a new moon, I would start to call in my intentions, get really clear on what I wanted to bring in at that time. So you could use that for business, like new moon, right? I'm going to sit down, I'm going to ground myself, I'm going to write down my intentions for the next few weeks and really focus.
Yeah.
So I had this new moon focus, so I'd call that in. And then after new moon, we go into the waxing phase. And so in the waxing phase of the practice, we would work on strengthening those commitments to that new moon intention. So we work on for the next sort of 10 days or so, really every day committing to action, committing to strengthening those new intentions. So that can be for your life, for your relationships, for your business, all areas of your life.
Yeah, but specifically looking and working with the intention that you set at the new moon.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then you have like a window of about 5 days of full moon energy, I'd say. And full moon, so you're building up and you're building up, and then you get to that full moon practice, which I love. And so it was like, right, I'm going to really celebrate what I've achieved over these last few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so the full moon in the lunar rhythms tradition is a real gratitude and celebration time.
Oh,
And it's so important because I feel, and I've been there myself, how often we berate ourselves for what we're not doing or what we haven't done. And so this constant practice of gratitude and writing down what you've done and looking at it and celebrating yourself makes you feel more successful.
yeah.
And success breeds success. So you're
Yeah.
just like boosting yourself up, you're empowering yourself, and you're celebrating your
Yeah.
business, relationships, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we go into the waning cycle.
Yeah.
And so this period is about the surrender and the complete letting go practice and slowing down and taking time out, and how important surrender is. So surrender in the practice is this non-grasping, non-attached to your business ideas, non-attached to the outcome of your ideas.
Yes.
And it creates like a softness. It creates a space for the magic to happen. Because when we're grasping and pushing and striving and never
Yeah.
giving that space, it creates tension,
Yeah. And
actually.
a lot
And
of
so,
attention.
yes, and then the magic is blocked. It's all like we want to keep the channels open, the inner rivers of the body, of life, of our business keep flowing. So we
Wow.
use nature, our greatest teacher, as the guide.
Yeah.
And this is where it's beautiful, because we now know that it's such an important time for us to come back to nature
Oh,
and be
isn't it?
connected
Yes.
to nature. And so we've got the perfect moon up there that's like this perfect structure for us to start getting back into those rhythms, not
Yeah.
pushing against the rhythms, but
Yeah.
going with the rhythms.
Yeah.
And then you have the dark moon, which is at the end of the cycle. And this is like the death. It's like going into and just going into deep silence and letting it completely go. And so that when you come to new moon, we come fresh, we come with new ideas, and we start the cycle again, a new intention for the next part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
So
love it.
I love it.
Mhm.
It's so, and it's so interesting hearing you saying it so simply, and in such a way that actually it makes total sense. This is all stuff that, I know that I practice, and through mindfulness, there's a lot of this stuff is, the letting go, all of that kind of stuff, the strengthening, the celebrating, the gratitude, all of that is so, so important. And I love the way that we don't always have to be in a state of celebrating or in gratitude or letting go or non-attachment. It's like we move through these cycles. And so as you're saying this, I'm really seeing how the natural cycle of nature and the natural cycle and rhythm of the moon enables us and gives us that guide of when we can do this. And so we don't have to
Exactly.
keep trying to second guess it
Yeah.
and being all of it all the time, which I think is also really bloody exhausting.
Exactly. So you've got this guide basically, and it's like, okay, this phase, this phase. So it's like these opportunities to do things, and permissions to rest, and permissions to celebrate, and permission to do this, and it creates a sense of relief that we don't have to be in the same push cycle all the time
Yeah.
and strive and try and make things happen,
Yeah.
because we do burn out.
Yeah.
So and we burn out on all levels. So we burn out within our relationships because it affects everything.
Yeah.
We burn our planet out by doing that because we
I
haven't
know.
stopped and surrendered and listened.
Yeah.
Like the surrender aspect brings deeper listening and silence. And then right action comes because we connect in the silence to the higher self.
Yeah.
And the higher self is calling us forth to the next right action. But if
Yeah.
you don't ever stop and listen, then you can never take the next right action.
No.
And so we are very blessed to have tools like nature to show us the way and
Yeah,
show on a journey
absolutely.
in reverence to.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And we, and we are always in this, we look around us. I mean, I live in London. I know you live in a beautiful environment, but I live in London, and sometimes, I look around and everybody is constantly at this push phase, this constant driving forward, and that is just all that they do. And that's how I used to be, many years ago as well. And it doesn't serve us at all. So it's so important, and I love this. So tell us a little bit about the actual moon phase we're in right now.
Well, we're in a waning phase. We're right deep in the waning phase because we have a new moon on Sunday. And then the sort of couple of days before that, we have something called the dark moon, where you can really empty into the cave. So we're just at the end of the waning cycle bit.
Ooh.
So it's like for the last week or so, I've been working on cleansing and the purification, physically, mentally, emotionally, and working on finding space to just be.
Yeah.
And to be in the silence and not have to push, not have to have an opinion, not have to achieve, not have to, just take the break off a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't, it just has to be for 5 minutes, you can still, but even if it's for 10 minutes or an hour,
Yeah.
it brings lots of benefits.
Yeah. And
We're
learning how
also,
to create that space for yourself.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's like permission to just be.
Yeah. And permissions, that's such a big thing as well. We often don't give ourselves permission to do what we sometimes innately feel is the right thing that we need to do or that we want to do, because there are some outside influences or outside shoulds, and I should be doing this and I should be doing that, because that's how we've kind of lived into society. And so going back to that deeper connection, I'm guessing it can be sometimes difficult to go against the grain and do things in these natural cycles and start really listening to ourselves. I mean, it's always amazed me, if we, just very simplistically, if the sea, this massive body of water, is influenced on an hourly basis by our moon, and we are 80% water, slowly diminishing as we get a little bit older. If we are also water, how it has to affect us, affect a huge body of water like a sea. We have to be connected to the moon. It must be affecting us.
We are affected by absolutely everything around us, and we know it's scientifically proven now, so there's no hiding from it. We are directly affected. So the more we tune in to the subtle effects of nature, the more you're going to, I have found personally, I
Yeah.
don't know about me personally, I
Yeah.
have found deeper levels of prosperity, abundance, joy, heartache as well. I do not, I get that too. I get pain, but there's something beautiful in pain sometimes. It's like saying yes to all of it, feeling much more in balance because I know there's cycles and
Yeah.
rhythms, and it all comes and goes, and just to be with it in each moment and use the practices to help support and move you through the tough times as well as the other times, the waxing and the waning of life, so and
Yeah,
celebrate.
really. Yeah, so beautiful though, isn't it? And just really, and as you say, it's surrendering to this knowledge, this deep. We don't, as you say, it's kind of, it's proven by science, but we also don't really need that. We know this innately, and that we are governed by these things in nature. And when I know as well from my own experience that when I stop consistently pushing in my business, wow, I have give space for something amazing to arise. And it's about listening to that connection. And so, yeah, okay. So I'm really curious about this. So we're going to be doing a little bit of experiential stuff together, right? You're going to show us a few things that we can do specifically for this waning moon, right?
Okay, yeah. So we're going to go into a little bit of practical experience here to drop into the void, to drop into the space of silence, so that we can access and connect to our true nature, to the higher self that is always calling us forth to the next action step, or to just be. And we're going to do that by a breathing technique, a mudra, which is a hand gesture, so real simple, and maybe some sound. We might add a little sound into that as well. So just 3 things that you can do: sitting in a chair, sitting on the floor, standing up if you wish. So the first thing you need to do is find a comfortable seat on your chair or on the floor. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, so we need to set up a foundation at the base, which is grounded and connected to the earth. And so what I'd like you to do is press down into your buttocks, into your feet if they're on the ground, and then close your eyes. And I want you to take your inner gaze down to just below the belly button and visualize it could be like the roots of a tree, for example, and take that cord all the way down through the tailbone, and then all the way down into the deep, dark roots of the earth. And just plug into her for a moment and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then just visualize breathing in up that cord all the way up through the tailbone, all the way up through the spine. Take that breath all the way up through the throat and to the top of the head. And then exhale the breath all the way down through the back, the neck, spine, tailbone, and all the way down into the deep roots of the earth. And we'll take 3 more deep breaths like that. Just watching that breath in and watching the breath out. And feeling connected to the qualities of stability, of deep balance, of being in right relationship with ourselves and with life. Okay, good. And we can add to this by taking the left hand to the center of the chest. Now, the right hand, you might not be sitting on the floor. So if you're not, I want you to imagine the hand is touching the earth, the ground, and it just comes over the top of the legs, and you bring the tips of the fingers to the ground. So you rest the tips of the fingers down, either on the ground or on something you can touch. Or if you're not actually on the ground, just visualize the ground there. Close your eyes and just breathing here. And this mudra is called lightly touching the earth. Just breathe for a moment with some nice deep breaths. Connecting to the heart, connecting to the earth. And connecting to the silence, the stillness. Nothing to do, nothing to achieve, no opinions to have. And we can bring the hands to the Anjali mudra. So bringing the palms to prayer position. Thumbs can rest in the center of the chest. And this mudra, you may have seen in many a yoga classes, is about respect to our bodies, respect to each other, and the connection to the heart. So close your eyes. And again, just feel that connection with your grounding cord. So you're really connected to the earth. And we're going to continue with that grounding energy by sending the sound of LAM, LAM, 3 times down into the earth. And so we breathe in and we take a deep breath in, and then we sound LAM, LAM, down through the tailbone and into the earth. I'm going to do it 3 times together. So a full breath in.
LAM.
Good. And then just turn the left hand down, right hand on top. Join the thumbs. So left hand down, right hand on, join the thumbs.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, no, I can't do that. Oh, dear. Say that again.
Left hand down, palm up.
Palm up.
Right hand down on top of it with the palm up. Thumbs join at the top. And then rest your hands in your lap. This is the mudra of meditation, Diana mudra. Close your eyes and just rest in the natural flow of your breath, in the stillness, in the silence. Nothing to do. Good. And then bringing the hands back together. And we can finish that little practice, hands to the forehead for clear vision today, to the heart, love and compassion, and to the ground, to the earth, a little bow down, giving thanks to our beautiful home for giving us a place to be.
Oh,
Om Shanti.
thank you. I feel really grounded and connected. It's really interesting. I was thinking, oh, I really want to come back to this and do this later in a bit of space. So if you're watching this as a recording, you know, do this over the next couple of days, perhaps. Would that be a good idea?
Absolutely. You see, people think of yoga as just asana, and that is all yoga. All of those things were yoga. You don't have to have a mat. You don't have to get your yoga gear on. You can do simple things that are profound.
Yeah.
They have such an effect.
Yeah. 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 I feel completely different. I feel grounded. I feel connected. I feel more spacious. I just have this space within my body, which is really nice, and a space more around my shoulders I can feel, which is nice because that's kind of like releasing some of the stuff, you know, we are, you know, constantly doing. And so, yeah, it's nice to have, it's so lovely to have a couple of things that we can bring together so simply.
Very simple. It's
Very
so
simply.
simple. And the simplest, I think simple is deep. Simple is profound. You know, we don't have to complicate things to be deeply connected, to feel good. It doesn't take long. It takes 5 minutes, like we just proved, to feel a deeper connection. And this is where the magic lies. This is where the creativity flows. This is where the next right step happens. This is where magical events happen and your business is taking off for magical reasons. You know, it's just, this is how it works.
Yeah. And we're creating that magic when we connect with that universal, the cosmic, the lunar, the nature, everything. You know, we are creating that magic ourselves, and how beautiful for us to really connect with that creation, like being in that creation when we're in silence, when we're even in surrender and space. So that's really, really beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I've loved that. I really loved it.
Thank you for for allowing me to share it. It
Oh,
makes me very joyful to share, and my cells are zinging with happiness. I can feel it.
yay! Let's sing, sing, sing. Fantastic. So, is there anything, Diana, that you'd like to last kind of things that something you'd like to share? Something you'd like to invite people to, or to come and join your group, or something along those lines that we can connect with you further.
Well, obviously, I'd love everybody to connect with me. If you're feeling resonant with what we're doing here, I have a Facebook page, I have a website, and we can put that in the links.
Yep, we will.
I have a yoga retreat coming up in September. I've got 2 spaces left for that, and that's a detox retreat working with
Amazing.
the autumn equinox, and for really creating a system that's vital and beautiful and connected. I also have mentorship programs open as well, so to help you to transform and bring and femininity and gracefulness into your life, into your business, into your job, into your relationships. So
yeah. And how different that feels, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will put all the links in the group here, and if you're watching this on another platform, then just get in touch and let us know that you're interested, and we will send you the links if they're not wherever we are posting this. So thank you again so much, Diana. Whoever's watching this on the recording, we really do hope you love it, and let us know what you think. And yeah, ask any questions, like post some questions here in the feed. Diana or I will come in and we will answer them and get back to you. So thank you again. Have a beautiful Wednesday and see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.